Welcome to the Winning in Business podcast. I'm your host, Kelli Risse, and I love talking to business professionals, leaders, and entrepreneurs who are winning in business. Are you ready to reach your next level of success? If so, join us on the Winning in Business podcast as I interview entrepreneurs, business professionals, and leaders who share how they've risen to success. Before we begin, go ahead, hit subscribe and the notification button so you'll be notified each time a new episode is released. Plug in and settle in. You're about to be inspired to rise up to your next level of success. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Winning in Business. It is National Stress Awareness Month. And, when we think about stress, first of all, it is still a huge concern. Stress zaps our energy. It causes us to be distracted. Our emotions run hot when we're stressed, and we are just not as productive. We're not as easy to be around. You can feel the energy when someone is stressed. And so when you think about it, like stress just contracts us. And we want to be more open and light and lively, right? Joy and stress don't really go together. Now, because it's National Stress Awareness Month, we do need to be aware that there is good stress. And there's a fine line between when there's too much stress, which then is anxiety, when there's just the right amount of stress that can help you be productive, right, without being overwhelmed and anxious. And then there's no stress, which can actually cause you to be depressed if you're like bored and, because there's nothing going on and there's no stress. If you've ever experienced no stress, let me know, because usually no matter what, there are some kind of stressors coming at us, whether they be major or minor. So when we look at that, we need some easy solutions to get us back into what I call ease, right? The flow of life, just living with ease, where we're going through and we're experiencing, yes, we have things to do. We need to be productive, and yet we can do them just with ease. And so it doesn't mean ease, doesn't mean we're being lazy. It doesn't mean we're being not productive. It's just like, breath. And so one of the ways that we can complete the stress cycle when our body gets into like fight or flight is there's 6 ways to complete the stress cycle. And when you complete the stress cycle, you're actually telling your body, it's okay. You are okay, right? Your organs, everything inside your body can just relax a little bit because it knows that you're okay. And so to complete the stress cycle, I love this. I learned it from the book Burnout. And what I love about these strategies is they're simple. So here we go. Ready? You're stressed out. You're triggered by something. It's causing you stress. You're in fight or flight, right? You either want to run or you're like, I'm going to attack it. Laugh. Find a friend you can laugh with. Turn on a funny cat video. Just laugh. Go do some laughing. When you laugh, you are also tapping into your belly, because when we laugh, like right? It makes us breathe into our belly and do some deeper breathing that we're not doing when we're stressed, because we're all up here on our shoulders. So laugh. 2, cry. I did a little bit of this last week and it really helped because when you cry, you're also breathing, you're letting it out, you're acknowledging your emotions, that you're aware of them. And so when you cry, it also completes the stress cycle. 3, movement. So this is something that is great. When you are stressed, remove yourself from the situation, change your state, your stance, your physicalness, and take a walk, right? Stretch, touch your toes, do something that is different than being contracted and sitting like this. Allow yourself to open up, because when you do that, You take a deep breath, okay? And then your body's like, oh, we're okay. And it is the best if you can go for a walk, especially get outside in nature. If you could just go stand outside, right? I mean, I'm not talking about nature as in, you got to be in a forest on a hiking trail, although that's lovely. But let's face it, we're in the middle of the day. There's a crisis in our business, our place of employment, whatever. We don't have time to do all that, but we can walk ourselves outside, take a few deep breaths, hope the sun is out, enjoy 30 seconds of sunshine, and turn around and walk back in. 4, be creative. When you can stop and be creative, and this is something that maybe you can't do right when you're stressed, maybe you can, but this is also really good for you for a proactive strategy, right? So when you're creative and you're just in the flow of things, you're relaxed because you're in that natural state. And guess what? You're breathing. Have you noticed a theme here? It all goes back to breathing. 5, physical touch. So, when you give a hug or when you receive a hug, and guess what you do? Breathe. So when you are feeling stressed, you can also hug yourself and give yourself a nice deep breath. I mean, these are so easy. You're like, really, Kelly? This is all you have? Like, this is so easy and yet so effective to complete the stress cycle and allow us to move through it and move on. And then the last one is breathing, which if you have done any of the other 5, you are already breathing. If you haven't done any of the other 5, then it's time to stop and go, whoa, wow, I am stressed and I need a minute. Take the deep breath, right? So there's so many different breathing techniques. There's the box breathing, which is inhale for 4, hold for 4, release for 4, and then hold for 4 again. So that's that box breath. There's the 5-5-7 breath. So inhale for, we should do these. So let's do the box breath for a minute. You inhale for 4, hold for 4, release for 4, hold for 4. Inhale for 4, hold for 4, release for 4, and hold for 4. So that's the box breath. I feel great after doing that. The other one is 5-5-7. This is where you're going to inhale for 5, hold for 5, and exhale for 7. And this one, we want the exhale to be longer to really get back into that parasympathetic system. Because when we're like, that is still fight or flight. That is when we tap into the parasympathetic system and it can heal and go, oh, we're resetting, reset. So 5-5-7, inhale for 5, hold for 5, and exhale for 7. Inhale for 5, hold for 5, and exhale for 7. Now, the other day when I was upset, there was no 5-5-7 because I couldn't inhale and hold it that long. So it started out more of like a 2, 2, 2 up, 2 inhale, 2 hold, and then exhale for 5, right? So it was shorter until I was like, oh, okay, now I can do 5. And the thing is when you're doing your breathing, count it. Count your breaths, because when you count your breaths, you will take your mind back into the present moment. Because when we're stressed and we get anxious, we're like way out of like all the things we need to do out in the future. What if, or all the things that we're trying to get done, and we're not right here in the present. So when you count your breath, it allows you to come back into the present moment. So, also meditation. You can do a 2-minute, close your eyes, do a 2-minute meditation that can help you also. So any of those things can help you. They are quick, they are easy. Several of them, no one even needs to know that you're doing them if they're around you, right? Like they don't need to know, you're just breathing and it's normal. So, I think we need to go back and we need to always remember that when we are stressed, it is affecting those around us. It is affecting our performance. It is perfecting our health. It is perfecting those around us. And the faster that we can be aware of it and stop ourselves and go, whoa, I just need a quick reset. And when you do that, then your energy changes, your outlook changes, and you actually then can become more productive, more focused. You can be nicer to people, right? And your day can be a whole lot better. You can bring the ease and the joy back in so quickly. And as it is National Stress Awareness Month, for the rest of the month, wherever you are, even if you're not listening in April and you're listening in June, I challenge you for the next week and then beyond, because if you can do it and be intentional about it a week, you can do it longer than that, to be focused on, when I am stressed, I am not going to ignore it and push through it. I am going to address it. And when you start doing that, and when you're like, ooh, I'm aware, this is how I feel, I'm naming my emotions, you will increase your emotional intelligence. Stress and emotional intelligence are directly related. Okay. So when you're stressed, if you can stop and name your emotions, get back and do a reset, that will be so much better for you. When you increase your emotional intelligence, then your stress can go down a little bit. And I noticed that last week. That's what was happening to me. My emotions, my stress, all of it. I was like, woo, it is time to do just a reset. And it didn't take me long. I could have sat there and I could have stewed in my CRAP, but it's so much easier to go, I have strategies. I'm going to use one. So strategies. Let's be intentional about using them. I invite you to share this with someone who they have a lot of stress. We can also talk about, what we need to do about boundaries, what we need to do about our perception. All these things go into stress, okay? But the biggest thing that we need to do is get back to basics, because when we can get back to basics and recognize our stress and complete the cycle quickly, then it allows us to think about, what is actually triggering it? And then we can do other things along the way. But when you are stressed, if you don't do a reset, nothing is going to seem possible for you, and you keep pushing through. So the reset, use the 6 strategies: laugh, cry, move, physical touch, be creative, and breathe. All right. I would love for you to share with me which one of those you use the most, which one you're like, Kelli, I always use this one. I love this one. Or, hey, I'm going to try a new one out because that's not one that I typically do. And I'd like to get good at adding another, tool in my toolbox, right? So if you always move, then try laughing. If you always laugh, then try moving and switch it up and see. Maybe one will be better for you on one day than the other. So many options. All right. I say all this because there was a time that we know I was super stressed and knew that I needed to rise up and live, which is why I named my business that, right? And so when we can do this, we can rise up, we can spread healthy and energetic energy out into the world and make it a better place for us and for others around us. All right, that's it for today. Keep winning in business, and I will see you next week. And until then, pick a strategy and use it, and rise up and live. Thank you for being a part of the Winning in Business podcast. If you've enjoyed this episode and want to rise up to your next level of success, but are worried about increased stress, time for work and yourself and your family, not to mention being exhausted, I'd like to invite you to a complimentary strategy call where I'll show you how you can do it all. I'll help you reclaim time, keep your sanity, handle the chaos with ease, and move to the next level of success that you deserve and desire. I hope you found value in listening today. Please always leave your comments, feedback, or questions. We check them all. I want you to continue winning in business and reach your next level of success. See you next time.